Alrighty, welcome to this week's edition of Two Ewoks in the Park. JT's going a little slow at the moment, and that's quite all right. Because I told him, hey, let's go, and he didn't. But that's okay. Come on in as we take you down a trip into a galaxy far, far away. That's right. We're going to be doing a little bit of a pre-show for Ahsoka. I'm Sully, and with me today is my good friend, my redneck brother from another mother, JT Hollis. Hi, JT.
Hi. And I forgot to open Discord chat. So I didn't see the usual 3-step message that we do. No, is all I can say.
Well, the good thing is we got the geek and the redneck here, and we're going to have some fun tonight because we are going to, like I said, bring you down the galaxy far, far away and talk about Ahsoka, because Ahsoka got moved up a day.
Well, she didn't get moved up a day. She got moved up like anywhere from 6 to 12 hours.
She got moved up a day.
Because normally it gets released about 3 a.m. On Wednesday.
True.
You know, is when they come out. So they moved it back, or moved it up, whichever way you want to look at it.
All right, I'll give you that.
To 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 6 hours.
Okay.
Which, I mean, why? What's the difference from 9 p.m. Tuesday night to 3 a.m. Wednesday morning? I don't know, but apparently it makes a big difference because everybody's gone freaking out about it and yelled at me because of my banner it said on Wednesday, and it's like, well, nobody freaking told me that they changed it until it was too late.
Well, so it kind of happened, and this is true, by the way. It kind of happened Sunday night, like Saturday night, Sunday morning type thing. It was weird because I had gotten that notification after you had already sent me the banner, the advertisement for it, and I went, well, son of a bitch.
Right. Somebody posted, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Echo posted on there that it had been moved up, and then you mentioned that it had been moved up, and I'm like,
yes. And you were like, God damn it, son of a bitch.
I wasn't that nice about it.
No. You were very vocal, and
I put a lot of work into that banner.
Yeah, it's okay to be vocal.
It took me about a half hour to make that thing.
Yeah, but
I'm not as skilled as you are with the banner making stuff.
True.
So
but you did a good job.
But I think I do pretty damn good.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Did a great job. Lady Death says that she will still watch on the weekend. Well, I mean, I get it because we're technically live tomorrow too. So just
right. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I can make it to the weekend to watch it.
Oh, I definitely won't be able to make it to the weekend.
I'm excited about this. The couple of pages that I've read from that had the what you need to know stuff on them. What I read on there, those couple of pages and stuff, and just what I've seen with the trailer and everything. I'm almost as excited about this as I am about anything Mandalorian.
Okay. All right. Now, mind you,
if that tells you anything.
just to paint the picture, when it comes to Ahsoka, for those that don't know, Ahsoka actually made her first appearance in the Star Wars Clone Wars film. Yes, it was a movie first, folks. It was a movie first. Movie first. Then they brought out the series. Because George Lucas wanted to touch upon the Clone Wars more. We didn't really know much about the Clone Wars. We didn't.
No, not any much other than what we saw in the movies.
Yeah. Which, perfectly fine. But
yeah, I mean, it was a good amount of information. But for every little bit of information you get, there's like 75% more
Yes.
out there yet to be discovered.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing when it comes to this. The main portion in retrospect was the fact that there was not a lot to go by.
Right.
And because there was not a lot to go by, that's where they started developing the Clone Wars film and then the Clone Wars TV show shortly after. And at first, I didn't get a chance to actually watch the Clone Wars TV show because I had no idea that it was on until it was already a season in. And I'm like, how did I miss this? You know? And
Now, real quick, before you go on, real quick, I just want to say hi to everybody that's hanging out in the chat room with us.
hi, everybody.
As we mentioned, Nakaya is with us. Great to have her along as always.
Always.
We also have our good buddy from above the northern border, the one and only Crochet Queen of Canada, Miss Carol, is with us as well.
I mean, she's pretty cool.
And she said that she was watching the updates on Facebook.
Okay.
To get in here and watch our show. And it's one of the things I love about Carol. And she says, I don't have to watch the shows because I pretty much know everything that's going on by the time you guys get done with each episode.
You know, true.
It's like you could see it in her head. I mean, it would be cool if she could watch them too, because I do think she would enjoy them.
I think so too. Because then she can be a part of the conversation a little bit more.
Right.
Which, don't get me wrong, you're always a part of the conversation.
Yep. And then we have Wolverine, aka Will. He is with us as well. That's what we was talking about. And I told him we're talking about the Ahsoka series get ready to come out. He's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, we're almost twinning today. You got a Mandalorian shirt and so do I.
Yeah. Well, you have a lot wider variety of Star Wars t-shirts that you can wear. I only have like 3, I think. So I gotta work on that.
And believe me, you're gonna start seeing Ahsoka t-shirts come up. Okay. So I
would like one anyway. So
when it comes to the character Ahsoka herself, for those that have Disney Plus, now by the way, Disney Plus does not sponsor this show. We do not have any type of affiliation with them.
But we would gladly accept one.
I wouldn't mind. Because, I would plug it all day long.
We would be on that like stink on shit.
Absolutely. I will sell my soul to the devil.
Actually, we would be on that like flies on stink on shit.
There you go. That works too. And mind you, we do try to keep things PG-13 because, why not? But when it comes to Ahsoka on Disney Plus, they actually have a thread of, what would you say, maybe like 20 something episodes?
Between probably 20 to 22, I think it was.
Yeah,
if I remember
between Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, Mandalorian, and Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, there's only one episode from Book of Boba Fett.
Well, yeah, because she really wasn't as prominent in it, but it's still there.
Right. Yeah, she wasn't a major player in that, but she did, her role in the movies did intersect in there.
Yes.
Because of the crossover with Boba Fett and everything else, or with
Mando.
No, well, that and the fat guy. I can't think of his name.
The fat guy?
The blob creature. What the hell is this? God, I'm brain cramp.
Jabba the Hutt?
Crap. Jabba the Hutt, thank you.
I mean,
wow.
She knows Jabba the Hutt. But that's a whole different story to begin with.
I can't believe I couldn't remember freaking Jabba the Hutt's name. Wow.
I mean, who said that?
Come on, get that head working.
So, one of the things that if you didn't pay attention or watch these on Disney Plus, obviously her first appearance is in Star Wars: The Clone Wars movie. Yes, completely animated film brought out by Warner Brothers. We don't know why Warner Brothers brought them out, but they did. And obviously, it's still Lucasfilm, and they own the rights to it, so it is what it is. But it's only, I would say, the Clone Wars movie itself is probably, at best, 2, maybe 3 episodes of the actual TV show. I like to think of it as the epilogue. It's an epilogue to the TV show.
There you go.
Where Ahsoka is assigned to Anakin as his Padawan. Makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. If you're going to bring in a new character, he's a Jedi Knight, you got to give him a Padawan eventually. He doesn't want a Padawan. Is what it is.
Then he has to actually think about what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, because Anakin is one of those people that just kind of does it.
Yep.
He doesn't think of the ramification of things. So now he's got to actually teach Ahsoka the ways of the Jedi. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to get the list up because a lot of the episodes were important because they centered around Ahsoka. But personally, I think the later episodes in Clone Wars are more important than the beginning. You know? Let's see.
Really?
Yes. What?
No, I just said really.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the reason I say that is, and don't get me wrong, every episode's important to her backstory. Because there were episodes where she was on her own, she was doing her own thing, she was still under Anakin, they were doing what they needed to do, they were training her, so on and so forth. But I personally think the main essential, one of the main essential episodes is how they came to find Ahsoka.
I haven't seen that one yet.
So there is, it's called Tales of the Jedi. It is on Disney Plus, and it shows her as a baby, and it shows, if I remember correctly, Count Dooku and Qui-Gon dispatched to get her, or they find her. So there's a lot of backstory, you know.
Gotcha.
A lot of backstory to it.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, because I did go through, and like we talked about before we started, and I was able to watch some of the episodes that were in the the Ahsoka Essentials list on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
and a couple of the episodes that I watched was when she was captured and taken and dropped on the island where they were hunted by the lizard people.
Yes.
And I thought that, well, because she was on a mission for Luke, got captured, and, a quick backstory. But
not Luke,
I think
Anakin.
that was the major developmental time for her. Because she realized, hey, I can lead people. I can be successful. I do know how to use my powers that I have.
Yes.
That I understand. So I think that was really, really vital to her upbringing and being where she is as a person.
Yes. Absolutely.
So, I mean, those were one of my, I think it was a 2-episode series. That was one of my favorites of the ones that I saw.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, when it comes to this, if we're going to go by the episode list, and I want to say there was at least maybe up to anywhere between 20 to 30. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can't give an exact number, but obviously the first one is her being born and, to the tribe that she's part of on her home planet of Sheely. and so on and so forth. And they realize that, hey, she's force sensitive. She knows what she needs to do, so on and so forth. Obviously, then comes the Clone Wars movie where she's assigned to Anakin. And he's like, oh, come on, really? I don't want this.
I don't want to teach.
I don't want this. I don't want this at
I want
all.
to play. I don't want to teach.
Yeah. And it's interesting because this is really the first time we see the characters, not just Ahsoka, but Anakin, Obi-Wan, Mace Windu, like all the Jedi who are fighting and being generals in the Clone War, they're now wearing armor. Like stormtrooper armor. You know?
Want to say hi to Brandon real quick. Just came in the room and says, the Push Mower King is here.
Well, yay! Welcome, sir.
He just got done mowing
welcome.
Just got done mowing his yard with a push mower. Not a self-propelled push mower, but just a regular,
Yay.
ass power to push it kind of thing.
He's also the karaoke king, but we'll get into that tomorrow.
Right.
So from there, we do have to talk about the way that Ahsoka, even though she's a Padawan, she actually has her first arch nemesis in the Clone Wars as well.
Right.
We have Asajj Ventress.
Yeah.
So she is Count Dooku's Sith apprentice. To an extent. and I say that because she's got her own thing that she's doing. But it really shows how Ahsoka is young, naive, thinking that she can, do what Anakin does, and she's very reckless.
She's experienced too.
Yeah. Which, that got her to talk to another Jedi Master. If I remember correctly, I believe it was Luminara. Yeah, Jedi Master Luminara. She and she's been referenced in Clone Wars and in the movies and all that, but that got her into the, hey, you're a little reckless. Take what I can teach you and take what Anakin can teach you and use it to your advantage. So you can start the scene that she's that young Jedi that's going up and over, like, okay, I'm young, I'm a teenager, I think I know better than everybody, but I don't. And that's when we start to see Ahsoka's character starting to change.
Mm-hmm.
And that's only in the first season. Which is crazy. Yeah. Because then they meet up again in season 2. And they start to evolve her even more. But we also see that Anakin and Ahsoka are not agreeing on things.
Right.
They don't agree all the time on this or that or so on and so forth, which, in my opinion, is actually a healthy thing for a teacher and a student. Because let's face it, a teacher's there to teach you. A teacher doesn't have all the answers.
Right.
So
the majority of them, but not necessarily all of them.
Right. And again, that's okay too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool seeing how they're portraying her.
Right.
It's cool seeing her grow up. And let's face it, she's still technically a teenager until, I want to say, at least season 3. I want to say the late season 3, where, believe me, guys, I'm like clearing off cobwebs because it's been so long since I've seen these episodes.
And he's been doing it all weekend.
Oh, you have no idea. I've been trying to like which ones do I find are key episodes, because it shows different sides of her. And
Right.
honestly, I want to say the late season 3, almost toward the end of the season. We start to see Ahsoka kind of go toward the dark side a little bit.
I would say a little. I mean, she has all of the influence from Anakin, and we know what happened to Anakin.
Yes.
So they have that connection in the Force between each other.
Yeah.
And everything. So, some of that maybe just unconsciously, I could see it kind of leaking over to her and it affecting her a little bit. And the question was, and that might have been part of the plan in the development of her character, was for her to have to face that and decide which way she wanted to go.
Yeah. Well, so, okay, just because I just looked it up. So, season 3, episode 16, it's called Altar of Mortis. The story centers on her being on a planet called Mortis, okay? Where it has 3 transcendent Force beings, the Father, the Daughter, and the Son. And the Son represents the dark side of the Force. Yeah. And the power of the Son eventually basically corrupts Ahsoka and turns her against Anakin. Okay? So now there's, oh boy, what's going to happen? And I want to, if I remember correctly, I think it was like 3 or 4 episodes total for this story arc. That's how cool this was. You get one of these story arcs and you can do 3 to 4 episodes all on this arc, which was amazing. Which is why I'm glad they did what they did with the Clone Wars season 7, which we'll get into. But from there, obviously she, the daughter, if I remember correctly, the daughter sacrificed herself to save Ahsoka and bring her back to the light side of the Force. So that way she could be with Anakin. She could go through and do what she needs to do and continue to learn.
Right.
And then from there, we start seeing more and more episodes of her being on her own. Her outfit starts to change, instead of just a tube top, now she's got a full on, shirt, or at least a top anyway. I don't know what their point was being with her just having a tube top. I really don't. But it was interesting to see the evolution of her character and this is my take on it. You've got a costume or an outfit that was very young, teenager, girl. I don't want to say girly because she's a Jedi, so she didn't wear a dress or anything. But then as the seasons go on, you see her outfits start to change. She starts to become more mature in her outfits that she's wearing. A little bit more covered up and less skin. Still wearing, pants, but with like a little bit of a skirt to at least show her that, she's a girl. They do what they need to. And then they start bringing love into it. Which, don't get me wrong, I've never really been a big fan of Jedis not being able to be in love. Because I kind of have to agree with what Anakin says in Attack of the Clones. In retrospect, the Jedi are meant to love everybody and everything. So, yeah. Gray area. But we do start to see that, and that's when she also meets Bo-Katan.
Mm-hmm.
Ha ha. Remember that name, folks. Bo-Katan Kreese. It'll be big in the
Well,
future.
we should already remember that name.
Uh-huh. Yep.
You know, if we're going to say it, we might as well say it. We should already remember the name. Even I remember the name.
Yes. Then one let's go away from Clone Wars for a minute. And let's go back to Tales of the Jedi.
Okay.
So Tales of the Jedi, there was another episode that centered around Ahsoka. And it was episode 5. And it was called Practice Makes Perfect. Short episode, but very, very important for Ahsoka and her character arc. Okay?
Right.
When it came to Ahsoka learning how to survive, so to speak, at least this is my take on it. This episode, and again, it's on Disney Plus, Tales of the Jedi, Season 1, Episode 5. The only reason why I remember this, okay, is because there was something very familiar about it that I have already seen. And I'm sure everybody else has seen it if they've watched it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This shows Anakin and Ahsoka in the middle of the Clone Wars on one of their ships, training Ahsoka to fight a battle where she is outnumbered. And what I mean by outnumbered,
which would be most battles that she's going to get into.
Yeah, but this is one of those things where I would say there was maybe 10, maybe 15 clone troopers all in a circle, and Ahsoka was in the middle. So Anakin ordered the 501st, which was the battalion under Anakin and Ahsoka, to attack her. Attack her with stun bolts, no matter what. He needs to teach her how to defend herself in this type of situation, because if you're up against a trained marksman, you need to be able to survive.
Right.
And the entire episode is just her fighting off the clone troopers and getting the shit kicked out of her. And I mean, like,
well, I mean, it's a vital skill that you've got to have.
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
I mean, Order 66 hasn't happened yet, but you know, still they are as Jedis, they are seriously outnumbered.
Yes.
You know, so I can see why Anakin would put her through the exercises that he did, especially this one here.
Yes. Because in this situation, if you didn't watch season 7 of Clone Wars, you might have an issue. And the only reason why I say this is she kept doing this until she mastered it. It didn't matter how many times they were shooting at her, she would deflect and she would master it. And when it comes down to Order 66, we'll find out why. Okay? The other episodes that are really important is the episodes of Clone Wars where she was accused of murder. Jedi Council kicked her out of the Jedi Order. They basically, she was basically the patsy for this. But she decided, okay, you know what? Screw this. I'm going rogue. I'm going to clear my name. And she did. Eventually she does. And the Jedi Order, Yoda Now, mind you, Yoda. Whew. Yep, clip that one. Yoda is the head of the Jedi Order. He is the master. Everybody listens to him, no matter what.
Hmm.
He is the one in charge of the Jedi Council. He welcomes her back. You are more than welcome to come back. And she denied them.
Well, put yourself in that position.
Oh, I agree with her 100%.
You know, I would do the same thing. I mean, somebody, you know, falsely accused, and it's just like the way things are today.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if somebody comes out and says something and somebody overreacts to it and accuses them of this, that, and the other thing, and everything just blows up. It kind of feels to me that Ahsoka has gone through kind of what the Mandalorian did with going through and getting back to the holy waters and everything to, you know, to cleanse himself and once again become a true Mandalorian.
Yes.
It kind of feels like that's what Ahsoka went through, but when given the opportunity to take that last step, she said, not with the way that you treated me when all this went down.
Yes.
No, I'm done.
Now,
I don't blame her.
at the same time, Anakin is saying, no, kiddo, I need you. Don't do this. Don't leave. But even at this point in time, even Anakin's starting to see the disillusionment of the Jedi Council and the Jedi Order. Not because of everything that's going to happen in Revenge of the Sith. No. He's questioned things since day one. It's just the way he is. It's the way Anakin is. But because of that, she walked away because she doesn't trust the Jedi Order anymore. And I don't blame her.
Right.
One bit.
Right. No, I'd be right there beside her.
Which, for her, that was actually, I wouldn't even, let me go with her first. With her, it's her moving on. She's becoming an adult. She can make her own decisions. She doesn't believe in what the Jedi Order stands for, but she still believes in the teachings of the Force.
Mm-hmm.
And for her, she needed to walk away. She did. She needed, and I don't blame her. But this is also the start of Anakin's downfall. Because now Anakin feels that every single person that is important to him is leaving him.
And see, that was something that I didn't catch, you know, I've thought for a long time that there had to have been more to what happened with Anakin, more than just Padme dying, you know, and him feeling like Ben had turned his back on, or not Ben, but Obi-Wan had turned his back on him with the training and all that good stuff. And I always felt that there had to have been more to the story with him to make him that easily go from the light side to the dark side. I mean, the switch happened very, very quickly, in my opinion.
Well,
I'm like, there's got to be more, and now we're finding out that more.
I don't think it was easy. I don't think it was easy, because in retrospect,
it was quick though.
In retrospect, if you think about it,
yeah,
his turn toward the dark side started in Attack of the Clones with the death of his mother and how he took out the Tusken Raiders.
Yes.
That's the catalyst that started it. Okay.
Right.
Ahsoka,
I think what got him the most about that was the fact that he killed the kids.
Yeah, well, he killed them all.
He killed them all, you know, but he emphasized the kids.
Yeah.
And how he killed them and didn't feel a thing.
And for him, that's a foreshadow to what happens in Revenge of the Sith.
Right.
Okay. Because if he was able to do it then, he was sure as hell being able to do it in the future.
Yeah, he's easily going to be able to walk into the school and kill the kids.
So the death of his mother is the catalyst.
Right.
Ahsoka is the turning point, and that downward spiral that Anakin is going to start to have. Okay.
So that's what knocked his feet out from under him.
Yeah, that was
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So now the only real people that he has in his life that have not betrayed him is Obi-Wan and Padme.
Mm-hmm.
2 left. So he feels everybody's starting to leave him. And yes, I agree with what Lady Death said. She stood up for what she felt was right. Absolutely she did. And it's a turning point in her story arc. Okay? Because later on in episode 7, sorry, not episode 7, season 7 of the Clone Wars, we get the entire last half of the series is all about Ahsoka and the siege of Mandalore. Ha ha ha. Where we see key players like Darth Maul, Bo-Katan, the 501st Legion, Coruscant. Okay? We see it all. We see it all. Want to say hi to Laser Man? What's up? How are you? Good to see you.
Laser Man's a good friend of mine by the name of Ian on Facebook. He is a very, very creative individual.
We like
and
that.
Here's the thing. He considers himself to be a Star Wars expert.
Ooh. And he's going to love this shit.
So, maybe we can get him to tune in and stuff when we do our review shows starting next week and everything. And
well, I mean, technically
maybe we
it's
can
starting
even get
now.
him on air with us one of these days.
I mean, technically it's starting now because we're kind of going through. Yeah, briefly, but we're going through. So when it comes to the Clone Wars, the whole last half of the season was all the siege of Mandalore and an arc revolving around Ahsoka.
Right.
Now, with that being said, obviously she takes out Darth Maul, no problems at all. Honestly, kicks the living crap out of him. But then when she's on the ship returning Darth Maul to to be tried under the Republic, it's taking place at the same time as Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Because now we start to see her having the visions in her head of Anakin turning to the dark side and Order 66 being initiated.
Right.
Which then brings me back to the training that she had in Tales of the Jedi, where she was surrounded by clone troopers, only they were really trying to kill her this time. Anakin, and you can absolutely say this. Laserman says Darth Maul versus Ahsoka is up there with the greatest duels in all of Star Wars. Absolutely. Hands down.
And you are now one of Sully's favorite people.
Absolutely. I've been saying that for quite some time.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
And don't get me wrong. A lot of people will say Luke and Darth Vader are some of the best. No. Nope. Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul. Boom. Darth Maul versus Ahsoka. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Now, obviously with Tales of the Jedi, we see this training, but now we know why she survives. Anakin saw this. Whether it was revealed or not, Anakin flat out saw that Order 66 was going to happen. Because why else would he train his Padawan to survive an onslaught of clone troopers?
Good question.
He saw it. He saw it in a vision. Never mentioned, but he saw it in a
Right.
vision. I guarantee it.
Yeah,
Will,
it would make sense.
will
you
we
know?
see that in a flashback in Ahsoka? I don't know. It'd be really cool if we do.
We would not be able to live with you if that happened.
Because I would call it and I'd be like, I was right.
You'd be, oh, I'm so good.
I'm so good I can write this stuff.
Right.
I am.
Well, you have written this stuff.
Shh, don't tell anybody. I just want to make money off of it one day.
Right.
So obviously, in this episode, once Order 66 happens, now it's fight and flight. She also wants to save Rex, but she also doesn't want to kill any of the clone troopers, even though they're trying to kill her.
Right.
So let's go get Darth Maul. on honestly, the fact that Darth Maul thought that the two of them were going to team up was amazing. Because that just goes to show Darth Maul's mentality when it comes to this, because he thought he was going to have, here's my partner. I'm going to turn her over to the dark side. And she flat out said, no, you're the distraction, you dimwit.
Right. Ian says the emotion of her trying to escape while trying to catch Darth Maul blew his mind.
It really was. And that's why I say that Ahsoka has been through so much.
Yeah.
She really has. She's been through so much that this is just like the icing on the cake, because now Order 66 has happened. Now she's on the run from getting killed.
Yeah.
And even
she's on the run from more people than she was on the run from before.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, there was another Tales of the Jedi episode where it was basically her just trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
She's out. She's in hiding. She's doing what she needs to do. She doesn't have any lightsabers or anything like that. And she goes to Padme's funeral, goes away, like, hey, you need to get out of here. You need to get out of here. Like, I'm always here for you. One day you're going to need to come back and fight and do whatever. And the fact that Bail Organa did that for her, he knows eventually you're going to have to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Which is where Star Wars Rebels comes in. Now, mind you, at this point in time, we've never seen a live action version of Ahsoka yet.
Right. And it's kind of like Loki.
Yes.
She's got so many timelines and things that she's been through, but somehow or another, they all converge back into the one main timeline.
Yes.
She verges off, but always comes back.
Absolutely.
Verges off, but comes right back.
And it's a welcome surprise, because the entire first season of Rebels was exactly right. It was exactly that. It was like, who's this fulcrum person that they keep getting information from?
Mm-hmm.
And eventually we learn that it's Ahsoka. Ahsoka's fulcrum, which is fine. She's been operating, behind the scenes. You can't see me. You've never seen me, blah, blah, blah. You do what you need to do. And she's more mature. She's an adult now. She's been on her own. She's been through hell and back, and she's still going. But she still does not label herself as a Jedi.
Right.
Now, most people will say, well, she's a gray Jedi. No. The gray Jedi don't exist. Don't even.
There's no in between. You're either good or you're bad. It's not like us where, you've got Sully, who's the good guy, and Echo, who's the bad guy, and JT somewhere in the freaking middle.
Oh, poor Echo.
It's not it's not like that. You're either one or the other. There is no in between.
I will say this though: if there were gray Jedi, then I will take that all back. But
It would. I would if there was, I would have to say it would be the kids.
yeah, but even for them, no, not really. Because
I mean, that's why. If there was, it would have to be the kids.
yeah. So from
Because they're
there,
still highly impressionable.
even in Rebels, we start seeing Darth Vader more.
Right.
You know, Darth Vader is going up against Ezra and Kanan. Hey, I'm the one who's coming to get you. By the way, I've got Inquisitors, you know. And let's face it, the Inquisitors really didn't exist until Star Wars Rebels anyway. I mean, we kind of knew they exist from the comic books and stuff like that. It's basically just, you know, Dave Filoni is still doing the, hey, screw you. We're bringing these from legend into the timeline of canon because they're awesome. Okay?
Right.
And yes, Laserman, Vader does kick their butts. He kicks Kanan's butt and he kicks Ezra's butt. But the other thing is, and I know we didn't mention this, Kanan is a survivor of Order 66. We did see him as a young kid in the Bad Batch. But we don't know to the extent of his training. We don't know the extent of his training of, you know, surviving Order 66. For him, he was just like, screw it. I'm not a Jedi anymore. But yet he still had his lightsaber. So we'll see. And don't get me wrong. Kanan was great. Certainly great for Ezra. That's for sure. But the other thing is, we now start to see visions from Ahsoka, and we start to see Anakin. And she starts to see that Anakin is Darth Vader. She doesn't want to believe it.
Right.
Laserman also says that Grand Admiral Thrawn in Rebels was awesome. Yes, but we'll get there. Oh, we'll get there. Because let's face it, Grand Admiral Thrawn, he is going to be a great antagonist. I'm going to put him up there with, what's his name from Mandalorian there? Moff Gideon. Yeah.
Yeah, the one I could never remember.
Yeah, Moff Gideon. Or better. Or better.
Laserman, don't encourage him.
Star Wars is my thing. Star Wars is my thing. Laserman, just so you know, if you look over this shoulder right here on the shelf, right there, that is all the Star Wars characters for Disney's, what the hell was that game? I got it over there somewhere. Disney Infinity. Every single one of them. Because the minute they said they were stopping making them, I bought them all. Boom.
His wife almost shot him when he did, but
That's not true. I got them on sale. Amazon was wonderful. All my original Star Wars are in a box. I don't have room for them on the shelves. So, yeah, they're there, though. But that's when we get into Ahsoka meeting Darth Vader for the first time at the end of season 2 of Rebels.
mm-hmm.
Because that's when she finally sees, that's my master. Uh-oh. Now what? But I loved what happened with this episode. You didn't really see it, but I loved what happened. The fact that she said, I'm not gonna leave you this time.
Ooh.
Yeah. She said that to him. But it wasn't Anakin she was talking to. It was Vader. And he said, then you're gonna die. I'm going to kill you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's not good when the person you say you're not going to leave says, well, if you don't, I'm going to kill you.
It was emotional, if you think about it.
It's a messed up situation is what it was.
Yeah, it is. It is a messed up situation. Yeah. But again, you know, you have to remember, she only felt Anakin go to the dark side.
Mhm.
She didn't know that he had become Darth Vader.
Mm.
Did she have hints to it? Yeah. Did she start seeing visions? Yeah. Did it finally come up and go, hey, I'm Vader? Yeah. Let's see. Do you think they will show us the world between worlds in this series? Honestly,
I don't think it will unless it's a flashback.
yeah. I'm gonna have to agree with JT on that one. They might, but
I mean,
not yet.
the world between worlds was a major part of what happened to her.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I could like that. And that's why I say I could, and again, I don't know a lot about Ahsoka. These are just from the pages that I read for, what you need to know kind of things. But it was mentioned multiple times in both articles.
Yeah.
So, it obviously had a lot to do with her upbringing, her development, and everything else. So, but
Yeah.
for where this timeline is, I can't see it unless it's in a flashback.
So let's just say
Final episode dropped to break the internet.
let's just say theoretically they do. I don't know if they're gonna, but since Rebels was created by Dave Filoni, it's a possibility that they could.
Mm-hmm.
Very good possibility that they could. Especially since they're bringing Ahsoka more into the forefront of those last couple of episodes. Which, again, if you haven't watched Rebels, there are some key episodes that you need to watch. Because that does take place between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope.
Right.
So we know that she's around. And could it possibly be that the world between worlds, we could see some characters return?
Right.
Possible.
Laserman says the symbols used in her title screen world between world or screams world between worlds for me.
It really does. And the reason that he's saying that is if you watch that episode, Rebels, A World Between Worlds, there's a lot of cool designs. Sith, Jedi, like just the symbols alone.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at her title, yeah. So the one thing you got to remember is that Ahsoka is Dave Filoni's baby. She
created
is his. Yes,
right.
George Lucas had a hand in it, but Dave Filoni gave her
It was
life.
his original vision.
Yes. It's his vision. Ashley Eckstein gave her a voice. Motion capture artist, freaking phenomenal with her. And the fact that they tied her into the Rebel Alliance made it even better. Right. Especially at the end of Rebels, when Ezra and Admiral Thrawn are gone into unknown regions of space.
Right.
So now Ahsoka is trying to find him. Not just Thrawn, but Ezra as well. And we know that Ezra's in this. Look at the cast list. The cast list alone shows a very good chance that maybe some other people will come up.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Hera. That's going to be a great tie-in. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is playing Hera. We already know Sabine Wren is in this because she was being trained by Ahsoka to handle the Darksaber. Hint, hint, a tie-in. But even with that, after the fall of the Empire, her and Sabine went on their way to find Ezra, and something happened in between. What that is, I don't know. Will they mention it? Absolutely.
Right.
Because we already see Sabine with the mural that she painted on the wall from Rebels with her entire family. And we've already seen some other cast members in The Mandalorian from Rebels.
Yep. Yeah.
So, could we see some more cameos? I think so.
Well, to think that we would go through an entire series of anything Star Wars, and not have cameos would just be utter and pure stupidity.
Agreed. Agreed.
And I do have to say this real quick. I'm not sure if we mentioned it or not, but
Might have.
for those of you listening who do have Disney Plus, if you go into Disney Plus, go into the Star Wars category, scroll down on the list there, and most of the episodes that he's talking about during this,
They're all there.
are in. It's called like a Ahsoka Essentials or something along those lines. It's like 20-25 episodes, different episodes, from Rebels through Clones through all the way through Mandalorian and Obi-Wan.
Yep.
So like Nikaya, she's not planning on watching episodes 1 and 2 until this weekend. So during the rest of the week, while she's relaxing after she gets home from work, she can watch 2 or 3 episodes and, get caught up and have a little bit better idea. That's what I'm trying to do. So, for those of you like me, the redneck, who knows Star Wars but doesn't know shit about Star Wars, when you look at it, this is a way to get caught up a little bit.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. So. This is the other thing is, this is also the last TV series that Ray Stevenson is in. Because actor Ray Stevenson passed away not too long ago.
Right.
And he was filming a movie, if I remember correctly. So, after The Purge and after the Return of the Jedi, we're 5 years in the future. After that, Mandalorian, we see her pop up in episode 5 of season 2. She's talking with Grogu. She finds out his name. She helps Mando, and Mando helps her because now she's trying to get more information on where Grand Admiral Thrawn is. So we know the premise of the series just from that episode. In the Book of Boba Fett, she makes another cameo appearance with Luke on the new planet where he's going to be teaching the Jedi teachings for, opening up a new Jedi order. And she says that your father would be proud of you.
Yeah, because she took Din Djarin.
Yep.
And Grogu there.
Yep. Well, she let Din Djarin know that he was there. And let's face it, Din Djarin, they will never be a Jedi. They're never going to make him a Jedi. So,
no. I think it would ruin his character if they did.
Yes, absolutely.
I think it would ruin the character if they did.
But I think this kind of ties to it, where the teachings that Din Djarin can have for Grogu, Grogu's going to start to remember all his Force training that he's already had, and we're going to see more of that later on. Because I believe we have 2 more seasons of Mandalorian coming up.
Please.
But the good thing is, and we do have an ad break coming up. So I apologize if you guys see an ad. Make sure you follow and subscribe so you don't see an ad. But the good thing is, when I record this, no ads. So if you're seeing an ad, sorry, but we got to pay the bills too. Ad revenue. Yay. But it'd be nice if Disney Plus gave us an ad, and I would absolutely run it. Hands down. Would run it till I'm blue in the face.
And purple.
Blue in the face. So, where are we from here? Well, Ahsoka episodes 1 and 2, I believe, drop tomorrow now.
Yes, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah. And personally, I've been looking forward to this. And don't get me wrong, I've been looking forward to Mandalorian. I was looking forward to Obi-Wan Kenobi, which was phenomenal.
Right.
I personally think that this is going to be a great new chapter in Ahsoka's story. Because now we're going to see her at the forefront instead of a background character. Okay?
Right.
It's going to be that pivotal moment where she is now going to go after Grand Admiral Thrawn and hopefully find Ezra, which will be great. Which would be great.
Yeah. It's, you know, and like I said at the beginning of the show, you know of anybody, and anybody that's been watching this, you know, when we've done Mandalorian and stuff like that. I love Mandalorian. Yep. I mean, I am all about Din Djarin and Grogu, and everything. And I am almost as excited about the release of Ahsoka as I was about the finally release of season 3 of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the episodes that I've been able to watch from the Ahsoka Essentials set. She is a very deep, a very complicated, but a very simple character.
Oh, yeah.
All at the same time. And that's hard to do. I mean, Darth Vader's Darth Vader. There's no simple about him at all. He is one of the most screwed up and complex individuals in the Star Wars enterprise. Ahsoka, and that's the neat thing about this to me, is the way that Ahsoka is turning out, with the fact that basically it was Darth Vader who taught her almost everything she knows.
Yeah.
Prior to this. So, you know, and that just adds to, in my mind, just adds to the uniqueness of this character.
Yeah.
And I can almost see Ahsoka becoming more of a vital character for the overall series of the Star Wars universe than, or as important to the new series as we go forward as Obi-Wan was to the past series.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now, Laserman says Obi-Wan was so weak. I don't think it was weak. I really don't. I don't think it was weak. Was it high above? No. Was it a great story? Yes. Did it tie things up between what was going on and why Obi-Wan was in hiding? Yes. Could you potentially do more? Sure. Will they?
Oh, yeah.
Probably not.
No, I've already read that they've pretty much abandoned the Obi-Wan.
Yep. Which is fine, because to be honest, that was the last time that Obi-Wan called him. Well, actually, it was the first time he called him Darth. He didn't call him Darth Vader, just called him Darth.
Yep.
And it was the last time he called him Anakin.
Yeah. And that was where he knew that the transformation was complete and Anakin no longer existed.
Yes.
You know. He says if they dropped every scene with the Inquisitor, it would have been great. She made it lame.
Oh, okay. I kind of liked her.
I wasn't crazy about the Inquisitor character either. You know,
I mean,
and you know that.
I liked her.
You know.
I liked that they tied it into
her being, I wasn't crazy about her.
You know, a survivor of Order 66. So I'm good.
So let me ask you this.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. This is going to be The one and only opportunity I give to you
Okay.
for the Ahsoka series
Yes.
to do this.
Oh.
What are your predictions?
Oh, I don't know if I can predict the entire series.
No. Yeah, I know for a fact. There's no doubt in my mind. I know for a fact that you already have predictions in mind of what is going to happen during this. And you will develop more suspicions and predictions and stuff as the series goes along. I want to see just how good you really are, because I want to see what predictions you have for the series before it starts.
Okay.
And obviously you have material because you've watched all the trailers multiple times.
I've watched all the episodes.
Watched all the previous episodes with her and everything else. You know Ahsoka. You know what she's been through. You know what she's going through. You know what's going to happen.
Okay.
So what are your predictions?
So I don't know if I want to call it predictions, maybe theories.
Theories. There you go.
Only because
Theories, predictions. It works.
I don't want to ruin shit. Okay? I really don't. Theory number one, and believe me, I've got a lot of them, is that
I'm sure you do.
they are going to find Ezra, and Ezra is not going to be a Jedi.
Okay.
I
think he's going to be a bad guy?
It's just one theory. In order to make it work, because Ezra's been gone since before A New Hope, so he's much older now, and he's been around Admiral Thrawn, I would say that he is probably going to be a Sith Lord of some type. Or Admiral Thrawn is using Ezra to find more Jedi and wipe them out.
Do you think he's using him as a pawn?
Yes, absolutely.
Possibly.
Theory number 2. Sabine Wren, although trained under Ahsoka to learn how to use the Darksaber properly, does have some Jedi ability, which makes her another Mandalorian that is Force sensitive.
Okay.
Not 100% sure because just from the trailers alone, she is not happy with Ahsoka. Because I feel that she is holding Ahsoka to blame for Ezra's disappearance and Admiral Thrawn's disappearance. Like, you let him get away. That type of thing.
Right. Okay.
So I'm going with that. Admiral Thrawn is going to be a huge thorn in the side of everybody, including Hera. And Hera's got a grudge match with him. Because of Kanan, Ezra. It'll be interesting. The fact that we get to see Chopper in live action, yay. All hell Thrawn. Not wrong.
Here's the one for you, okay? Because I know we probably got to go pretty soon, but
yes.
trying to figure out how to word this.
Carefully.
What's the big spoiler? What's the big spoiler? What do you see as being a big spoiler that could possibly happen in this episode or in this series?
In the first episode? Or
no, in the series. In the series.
I don't know. I can't do a spoiler yet.
Okay. I was just curious. I know how you are. I know how you analyze everything. I know how you've probably watched all the teaser trailers 10, 15 times.
Oh yeah, I've noticed
just
things.
to make sure that you haven't missed anything and all that stuff. You've rewatched all the past episodes and everything else. So I know you have thoughts in your head.
So
and I just want to pry them out of you a little bit.
Aside from that, Laserman says Sabine has to become force sensitive. There's no way she could sword fight any force sensitive user without it. Bullshit. And the reason I say bullshit is because anybody who had the ability to use the dark saber on Mandalore was not force sensitive. Bo-Katan was not force sensitive. Din Djarin was not force sensitive, and he had trouble using the dark saber.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That dark saber kicked his ass while it was saving his ass.
Yes. Sabine Wren knows how to use the dark saber. But, and I stress the but.
Well, because didn't she initially have the dark saber before the dark side got a hold of it? Because didn't she turn that over to him?
Yes.
On Mandalore to try and stop from the Mandalorian race from being wiped out, or am I remembering that wrong?
Yes, Sabine did.
Okay.
Sabine did.
So she was actually being trained in the use of the sword before everything happened.
Yes. And Laserman says that they never went up against actual force users. To an extent, yes, you are correct.
Well, they worked side by side with the Jedi for a little while.
But they still had to know how to use the dark saber. Because like they said, not just in The Mandalorian, but in Clone Wars, anybody, and even Rebels, anybody who was wielding the dark saber, they had to make sure that they treated that like as if it was a part of them.
Mm-hmm.
Not force it to do something, because otherwise it's just going to weigh it down and it's going to be heavy for you. So they had to learn how to use it. Din Djarin did not like using that dark saber. I don't care what anybody says. He didn't want it. He didn't like it.
I was surprised that he didn't break out in a happy dance when he turned it over to her.
Oh, hands down. Hands down, especially when he found that loophole of, here you go.
Right.
You disarmed me. She disarmed you. Here you go.
Yeah.
And it worked.
It's gonna be. I honestly believe that this series is going to be, and I hope it is, that this series is going to be as good as Mandalorian, because Din Djarin had a huge backstory to work with. Ahsoka has got just as big, if not a bigger, backstory to work with in this. So I'm hoping that they do with Ahsoka what they did with Mando.
So here's why I have a feeling it is going to be better than most of the Star Wars shows. Because let's face it, Andor was phenomenal.
Andor was great. Obi-Wan
was phenomenal.
It was good, but not so much.
Yeah. Ahsoka was 100% created and written by Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni directs one. So he directs the first episode, but he's written every single episode. This is his baby. He knows Ahsoka better than anybody, which means this is going to be a great story.
Okay.
A great
I hope so. I mean, it looks, from the trailers and stuff that we've seen, it looks like it's going to be good. I mean, I get the same feeling off of those trailers that I got about Mandalorian before they released season 1.
It's going to be great.
And you know how much Mandalorian pulled me in.
Oh,
right
yeah,
off the
you
bat.
were sucked in.
I was dust before it even got halfway through the first episode. So it's going to be interesting to see. Waiting to see if we can get any thoughts or hopes from Ian, our other Star Wars expert here, real quick before we head out.
Yes, especially since an ad break is going to run in about 44 seconds. So I tried to postpone it, guys. I did. I
I
tried to
actually did
postpone
for
it.
a couple.
I tried to postpone it as much as I can, but an ad break is actually going to happen in about 30 seconds. So,
So hang tight. We'll still be here.
yeah, we'll still be here. The other cool thing is David Tennant. If you don't know who David Tennant is, shame on you. What rock are you living under? He is actually going to be reprising his role from the Clone Wars. He's going to be playing, he voices Hu Yang, which is a droid that crafts the lightsabers for the Jedi. So that's cool. At least I think so. Laserman says, I am hoping for a good show with great character development. Hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down.
I mean, you look at the character and everything. There are so many things that they could do with her.
Oh, without a doubt.
And so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see what basically the creator of the character lets happen to his character.
Yeah.
As she develops further on in her storyline.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be fun, man. I'm excited. I have to honestly say I am excited.
I still want to see my dream come true after all these episodes and everything. And again, guys, I apologize for the ad break. Should be done in about a minute or so. But one of the main things that I absolutely love is the fact that we're getting Star Wars shows. We are.
Yeah.
And it ties the movies together. You can't you can mess it up, clearly. But it's one of those things that just automatically you're like, yes, finally we've got TV shows. Star Trek's had TV shows for years. They're still doing Star Trek TV shows. Why don't we have Star Wars shows? And the fact that it went as long as it did was mind-boggling, but I also get it. They're big budgets. I mean, these shows are movie theater style shows and budgets on a streaming platform. So it ties together very well. And for those that had the ad break, I apologize, but we were just talking that we're very grateful that we're actually getting to see TV shows of Star Wars. Not just cartoons, not just animated series, but live action. I personally still want to see my dream of Shadows of the Empire come into fruition. That would be amazing. Because it's, only one of the greatest Star Wars games, books, and soundtracks ever made. With so much merchandise that it should technically be canon. But we won't go there for now. We won't go there for now.
Right.
So
we'll hold off on that one.
Yeah. And Laserman agrees. Laserman agrees. Shadows of the Empire N64, best ever. And don't get me wrong, I got them all. I got that. I got Rogue Squadron. I got them all. I love them. Absolutely.
I mean, we don't know everything that the Marvel / Star Wars / Disney / Pixar / whatever has in mind for further down the road. We know a good bit, but we don't know everything. So you never know. You never really know.
Yeah. And yes, the music does suck you in on that game. But with that being said, we do have to end the show tonight. The reason that we did the show tonight was to bring you up to speed on what she's been up to. We know what she's been up to now because let's face it, she has had a very tough life and yet she's still going.
Yep.
Which is fantastic. So, with that being said, the first 2 episodes actually drop tomorrow night. And they drop tomorrow night during the Sully show.
Yes. So our entire viewing audience is going to disappear come 9 o'clock for the second hour of the show.
I hope not. I hope not. But the 2 episodes drop tomorrow after the Sully, during the Sully show, which means I won't be watching it until Wednesday as normal. But next Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 Ewoks in the Park will be back.
Yes.
With hopefully a new intro, hopefully new overlays, because that's how I roll. And I'm working on them. I'm working on it. But it'll be fantastic. And yes, watch it. Take notes. You have a week to do it. You do. You have a week to do it. But
watch it multiple times. You know Sully will.
Yes. But we'll break down each episode scene for scene. We try to do line for line, but that just doesn't work because I always forget what they say. But we break it down scene for scene, and we will see exactly where Ahsoka is going next. So, for the redneck and myself, I'm Sully. Thank you all for being a part of 2 Ewoks in the Park. Don't forget the Sully Show will be live tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/accidentalpunch, on X, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Kick. We're everywhere. So, we will see you guys next time on 2 Ewoks in the Park. Have a great night, everybody, and be safe. Oh, yes, be safe, because you have to.